Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name, after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
So we are going to start in a seated position, but if you can, have your block handy. We're going to place the block on the floor, and then like what height you choose to place your block at will be like what feels good to you, what feels comfortable, and what feels stable. So I was playing around with it, and I kind of like the medium setting, long ways. We're going for a Sukhasana in our chair position, so a little crisscross at the ankles. But then if you get there and you're like, oh, that's not working, it's a little too wobbly, go for the low setting. It's got a little bit more space. So set yourself up so it feels like a loose, comfortable, easy seated position. But then to start, lean back in your seat just a little bit. So we've got a little external rotation of our thighs, a little crisscross at the ankles. Settle your back into your chair for a moment. Close your eyes if it feels comfortable. And then just let your hands rest wherever feels best. And then just as you start to get that light settling in sensation, notice in your body, do a little inventory, what's taking the longest to get there into that settling in. So for me, it's kind of my inner thighs and the muscles around my knees. Want to tense up just a little bit to hold and support this position. So notice in your body where you feel sensations of hanging on, and then allow everything to get a little softer. Give it the time that it needs. Good morning, Audra. Audra, we need a yoga block if you have it, or an equal equivalent, just something to elevate the feet off the ground. And we're starting in an easy seat with our feet supported on our yoga block. So a little crisscross at the ankles, knees out to the left and to the right. Lean back into your chair. Let your shoulders soften. Hands wherever they feel the most comfortable, and take about 3 more nice, gentle breaths here. And then before we move away from this place of gentle stillness, take a moment to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, eyes can be opened or closed. That'll be totally up to you, but we're just going to start to roll our fingers into a little fist, squeeze your fingers, and then roll your fingers out and stretch them out and away. Roll your fingers in, make a little fist and squeeze. Roll your fingers out, stretch your fingers out nice and wide. Roll your fingers in, make a little fist and squeeze. Roll your fingers out, get a little stretch or spread of the fingers, and then a softer fist. And we're going to just pick the arms up just so that you can gently move the wrists. You're going to just start by circling your wrists in one direction. Keep that little bit of a fist situation. And then take your fists and draw them in circles. Go the other way. Take one more little circle around, and then we're going to bring the palms together and just bring a little bit of warmth or heat into the palms. So fire up your palms just a little bit. Maybe bring a little bit more heat, a little bit more friction, or a little bit more speed to the rubbing of your hands together. Take one more moment. And then we're going to go one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Close your eyes just for one more moment. Take a nice gentle breath in. Slow breath out. And now we're just going to sit up away from the back of the chair. So we're going to keep our legs in that easy seat or crisscross situation. And then once you've sat up nice and tall, take a light and gentle twist. So go gentle, since especially with your legs in this configuration, you might not have as much support in your seat. So make sure that you only go as far as you feel comfortable with, and you don't feel like you're going to topple out of your chair. Get a little rotation in the spine. Take a nice big breath. And then release that twist and take it over to the other side. Same thing here. Go just as far as you feel comfortable and secure in your seat. Beautiful. When you're ready, unwind, and we're going to catch hold of the kneecaps, a little hip hinge, but with this configuration, your feet are pressing down into your block. So you're only going to go as far as feels good and comfortable. So think easy seated forward fold, a little hip hinge, lean your heart forward, pause there for a moment, notice your low back, take a breath. And then come back up nice and slow. And then we're going to switch the cross in our legs just for a little bit of symmetry. So switch the crisscross at your ankles. Take a moment to reconfigure everything. Make sure it all feels good. And then once you've switched the crisscross in your legs, come back to that light and gentle twist. Notice when you switch the crisscross in your legs, one side might feel a little bit more safe and secure. So just kind of notice those little subtle variations within your own body. When you're ready, unwind that rotation and then take it over to the other side. Take a nice gentle breath. Come back through center, easy seated forward fold. So we're just going to let the hands find the knees, hip hinge. So lean the heart forward, go only as far as feels secure, and then pause for a moment, take a breath into your low back. Nice. And then when you're ready, come back up out of that easy seated forward fold and then step your feet off of your block. Take a second to just kind of walk your butt forward, and then you can move the block a little out of the way or just kind of rearrange it so that it makes sense. But we're just going to take a little bit of movement of the heels and the ankles. So you're going to start with just some light heel lifts, moving your heels up and lowering them down. Awesome. One more lift up and down, and then we're going to keep one heel lifted, and we're going to stay in that lifted position, but now you're going to pick the other foot completely up off the ground. So one heel lifted, one foot off the ground, and then take the foot that's off the ground, twirl it in circles, circle in one direction. Twirl it in circles, go the other way. Awesome. Set that foot down, but ball of the foot and toe on the ground. Keep the heel lifted, pick up your other foot, and then circle your foot in one direction. Circle your foot the other way. Set that foot down, both feet nice and flat on the ground. And now we're going to just take one hand and we're going to pull the muscles in the back of the neck. So you're going to pinch and pull. So think about the muscles that run down the length of your cervical spine, one side on the left, one side on the right. Grab one side and you're just going to pinch and pull. So you're going to be up where the cervical spine meets the skull, and then pinch down where the cervical spine starts to meet the thoracic spine or upper back. So pinch and pull up and down. And as you pull, you're pulling back away from the neck. So we just want to kind of find a little looseness or reduce a little bit of stiffness in the muscles in the back of the neck. Take one more little pinch and pull up and down, and then release that hand. And we're going to switch right to the other side. Grab the muscles, do a little pinch and pull, moving up and down. Nice. One more little pinch and pull up and down. And then both hands are going to come behind the back with a little interlace of the fingers. So basket weave the fingers, bring them behind the head. And then we're going to go with a slight cat and cow movement, but we're going to add the elbows and the head and the neck. So you're going to round the back, tuck the elbows in, tuck your chin into your chest, and then create a little sense of resistance. So your head is pushing into the back of your hands. Open up through the heart space, pull the elbows wide, lift your chin just enough, and then release. Tuck the chin down, pull the elbows in. Gently round the back of the body. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift your heart, press your head into your hands, open the elbows, open your heart space just enough. And then exhale, round the back, tuck the elbows in, tuck your chin down. 2 more cycles of breath here. Now move with your breath's rhythm. Inhale as you lift and open up your heart. Exhale as you round your back. Inhale as you lift your heart. Exhale as you round your back. Lovely. And then find a fairly neutral spine. And now we're going to step our feet. So you'll arrange your legs in a way that makes sense, but we're going to use our hands, and you're going to start by just kind of pushing your thigh a little bit from side to side. So you want to make sure that your ankle feels safe, your foot feels comfortable, but we're letting the leg be sort of loose to start, and your hands are pushing the leg from side to side. Do one more side to side here with that looseness, and then we're going to just take it right over to the other leg, push the leg a little side to side, use your hands. So your hands are strong, leg is going to be in a soft configuration. All right, one more little push of that leg side to side, and now we're going to come back to the original leg, but as you push, your leg is going to try to resist. So your hands are really going to try to push that leg from side to side, but now get your thigh muscles, and inner thigh muscles is specifically what we're shooting for, to you do a little work here to hold that leg in place. So a little oomph into that push with your hands. Try to push your leg side to side. Make your leg kick on and be strong. Nice. Take one more push side to side with that really strong leg. Pause for a moment and notice. Notice if one side feels a little different than the other, and then we're going to take it over to the other side. So we're going to start with those pushes, but now we're going to keep the leg strong. So your arms are strong, trying to push that leg from side to side, and your leg is resisting that push. Awesome. One more push side to side, and then pause for a moment. Notice how your legs feel, and then see if you can come to a seated mountain pose. So feet about hip width distance apart, toes and knees pointing fairly forward, arms down at your sides. Push gently down into your feet so you just feel the solidness of the floor underneath you, and then maybe notice the solidness of your seat. Or if you're in a cushioned seat, maybe notice that little variation. Can you find where that solidness is? So sometimes if you're on a cushion, you got to reach a little bit further with your imagination. So feel that solidness, take a moment. Awesome. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center, hands down at your sides. One more just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center, hands down at your sides. Left hand's going to touch down, right hand's going to reach up. Take a light and gentle side bend just to wake up the side body, move the spine in a different direction. Take a nice gentle breath in. Slow breath out. And then when you're ready, lift up, take it over to the other side. Right hand touches down, left hand reaches up, tip over just enough so you feel a little stress in the side of the body, and then take a nice gentle breath in. Slow breath out. Lift it back up through center. Find your mountain pose. Nice. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, lift your heart and fold forward. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Pull the abdominal muscles in. Pull the ribs back. Roll up through the spine. Take your time. Roll your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Roll them around, down, and back. And then we're going to do that again. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Pause for a moment in your fold. Notice your low back. Notice the compression of your belly against your thighs. And then on your next inhale, inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, soften down. Pull the abdominal muscles in. Pull the ribs back. Roll your way up. Roll your shoulders up to your ears. Roll them around, down, and back. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, pull the abdominal muscles in, roll your way up. Take your time as you roll up, roll your shoulders up to your ears, roll them around, down, and back. And now we're going to bring our yoga block back into play. So anything that gives you a little bit of height, and the reason for the height is just purely because I thought it felt good, but you might get there and think, oh, that doesn't feel great to my knees or to my ankles, and you might leave it off. So we're just going to step our feet on to the lowest setting. And what we're looking for is just that the feet are slightly behind the knees. So we want just that sort of a Z pattern with our legs. We want the feet back just a little bit. So you can arrange your block just so the feet are back just enough. And then we're going to start by seeing, can you touch the back of your chair? Because we want to touch the back of the chair for a sense of security, but then it's also going to provide us with that access to a depth in our pose. So see, can you touch the back of the chair? Can you hold on and feel secure there? And then once you feel like, yes, you can touch the back of the chair or arrange yourself, maybe you have to scooch your butt back. Take a moment to sit up nice and tall, and then we're going to go hip hinge, lean the heart forward. So we're going for a seated child's pose with the arms back. So a little bit more in that embryo shape, if you will. Arms are going to hang back at the back side of the chair, hip hinge, belly, chest are going to rest on the thighs, and then soften your head down. Pause here for a moment. Notice the breath in the back of your body. Take one more breath. And then slowly walk your hands to the tops of your knees, gently push into the tops of the knees, come up nice and slow and controlled. And then we're going to kick that block just a little bit out of the way and then come back to that seated mountain pose. Feet nice and flat on the ground, hands down at your sides. Nice. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down. Right hand over to the left shin. Left hand reaches up for a twist. And then just at the edge of that twist, bringing that hand down, slide it up the shin. Bring your knee to your chest. Bring your nose to your knee. Release that nice and slow, come back through your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches for a twist. Just at the edge of that twist, release that hand down. Slide up your shin, bring your knee to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. Release that foot down to the ground, and then hands are going to find the tops of the thighs, and then toe heel your feet out just enough so that they're about shoulder width distance apart. Once your feet are shoulder width distance, elbows and forearms on the thighs, heart forward, but it's a little bit of a hip hinge situation. You're going to bring your heart forward as much as feels comfortable, and then you're going to arrange it so that your nose or your face is parallel to the ground. So can you find that semi-parallel position? And then once you're there, we're going for a cobra here, but in that hatha style. So we're going to lift the nose, lift the eyes, lift the gaze, lift the heart. So just find that parallel position for a moment. Now lift your nose like you're pulling your nose away from the floor. Lift your eyes, lift your gaze, lift your heart. Feel the strength in the back of your body. Pause there for a moment. And then when you're ready, release nice and slow so that the nose comes back in that parallel position. We're going to do that again. Lift your nose away from the ground. Lift your eyes. Lift your gaze. Lift your heart. Feel that little squeeze in the muscles in the back of the body. Pause for a moment. And then when you're ready, soften and release. Nose is going to come parallel to the ground. One more time. Lift your nose. Lift your eyes. Lift your gaze. Lift your heart. Pause for a moment. Release nice and slow. Now we're going to let the hands slide down the shins, soft, soft, soft through the back of the body. Take a nice gentle breath in. Slow breath out. And then walk your hands up your shins, walk your hands up your thighs. Come up nice and slow with that little bit of support. And then we're going to step the feet forward with a flex in the feet. So a slightly wide position, feet about shoulder width distance apart, hip width distance apart. Find a space that feels anchored on the ground, but with that flex in the feet. And then we're going to lift the arms up. So this is a seated downward facing dog. And then you're going to flip the palms like you're trying to press your palms up towards the ceiling. Once you've got the heels on the ground, a flex in the feet, press the palms, then pull the heart forward just a little bit, and your head is in between your hands. Press up into the palms, bring a little bit of life and action down into the feet. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, soften and release. Step your feet in. Take a second to give your legs a little shimmy shake. And then when you're ready, without ceremony, we're going to come up to standing, and we're going to flip our chair to the tall setting. So find your way up, take your time. Flip your chair around, and then just arrange yourself in the space that makes the most sense to you. And we don't need our block for this particular portion, so you can just kind of shoop it out of the way for a moment. We're going to start with a standing mountain pose with our hands touching the chair, but we're going to arrange our feet so that it's big toes together, heels slightly apart. So see if you can start by finding that configuration with your feet. If it helps you, look down at your feet, go big toes together, heels slightly apart, lift the arches of your feet. And then you want to imagine that the heels are kind of hugging in towards each other. So assuming that they don't move and actually hug in towards each other, imagine that you're trying to bring your heels in towards each other, and then feel that sense of connection that kind of wraps up through the back of the body. Lift a little energy up through the spine. Hands are going to stay connected to the chair here, but a nice light touch, so not a death grip on your chair. Pause for a moment. Feel that sense of anchoring down into the feet as you reach up through the top of the head. Take a nice big breath. All right, and now soften your legs just a little bit. And now we're going to step the feet so they're about hip width distance apart, toes and knees pointing fairly forward. Once you've got that arrangement, we're going to do that same action. Imagine that your heels are wrapping in towards each other. So heels are pulling in towards each other. Feel that little sense of wrapping up through the back of the body. Lift up through the top of your head. Light touch to the chair. Notice your breath. Awesome. Soften everything for a second, maybe even give your butt a little shake out, and then step your feet slightly wider. So now we're going to go for about past hip width distance, maybe about shoulder distance. Toes and knees are pointing fairly forward. Take a moment here, and then we're going to do that same action. So heels are pulling in towards each other as we wrap up through the back of the body. Lift energy up through the top of your head. Lift the arches of your feet. Notice your stance here, and then ask yourself, which one did you like best? Feet really close together, feet about hip width distance apart, or feet slightly wider? And that might give you a good information on how you would just always generally prefer to take your mountain pose. Take one more moment. All right, and when you're ready, soften everything up. We're going to walk it back to a down dog just to kind of release any tension that we may have come across in the back of the body when we wrapped it up. So walk yourself back to that down dog, a nice little V shape. Push back into your bum just a little bit. Let your heart melt down. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, lift your heart, walk forward. We're going to walk it up to the tall side of the chair, and then we're going to step the right leg back. We're going towards a warrior two. So step your right leg back, drop the heel down. So the heel is down, toes are turned out. Rotate your hips out to the side. Keep one hand on the chair. The back hand is going to extend out nice and long, but then you're going to turn your head, gazing out past yourself. Take a moment to just feel the strength in your legs. Feel the strength in the side of your body. Feel the strength reaching out through that back arm as you turn your head and look forward. All right, now straighten your front leg. We're moving right into a triangle pose from here. So straighten the front leg, reach your hip back behind you, soften that front elbow, tip your side body forward, take that top arm, reach it up towards the ceiling. And then with your security on your chair, how does it feel to look up towards your hand that's up at the ceiling? Notice the strength in your legs. Notice the strength in the side of your body. Lift from the arches of your feet, and then let that lift from the arches of your feet come up your legs, up your side body, lift up through that top hand, release from that triangle pose, re-rotate towards the back of the chair, bend your knee, pivot your back heel, and then step that foot in, and we're going to switch right to the other side. Left leg is going to step back, heel drops down, toe turns out, rotate your hips out to the side, keep your front hand on the chair, extend your back hand. Once you've got your back hand extended, turn your head and look past your chair or look to your future. Some people say when you're looking out in that warrior two position, you're looking towards the future. So take a moment to just find that nice focused gaze in front of you. Lovely. And then when you're ready, straighten the front leg, pop the back hip out just a little bit, tip your torso down, bend that front elbow. Top hand is going to extend up towards the ceiling. Make sure you feel strong and secure first. And then if it feels available, turn your head and look up towards the hand in the sky. Beautiful. Strong legs. Lift from the arches of your feet. Lift through the side of the body. Come up nice and slow. Rotate back around to the front of the chair. Hop that foot forward. We're going to step it back to our down dog. So walk yourself back. Take a moment to find that down dog, but we're not going to stay there too long. And then right as you found the edge of that down dog, lift yourself right back up. We're going to tip forward, but make sure your chair is secure. So we press down into the chair, and then we're going to think upward facing dog. So you're going to lift your heart space just a little bit, lift your gaze. And then just at the edge of it, release nice and slow and controlled. Take a second to walk it all forward. And now we're going to flip the chair around so it's in the lower setting. So take a moment to rearrange your chair or rearrange yourself. And then once you've got your way to that lower setting of the chair, find your mountain pose again. But if mountain pose doesn't feel secure, you're still going to touch to the chair. So you want to make sure that you find security and safety first. Go for the big toes together, heels slightly apart. See how that feels. Go for the feet about hip width distance apart. See how that feels. Go for the feet about shoulder width distance apart. See how that feels. And then come to your favorite one. So whether it's big toes together, feet about hip width distance, or feet about shoulder distance, find the one that you feel the most stable in. And then take a moment just to reach down into your feet, lift up through the crown of your head, get nice and tall. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees a little bit. Fold, hands are going to touch to the low side of the chair. Inhale to a little half forward fold, lengthen the spine, straighten the legs just a little bit. Soften your legs, step the right leg back into a lunging position, and then warrior two, drop the back heel, turn the toes out, lift that right hand up. If you can, pick the left hand up away from the chair, find that warrior two shape, and then lift energy up the soles of the feet, up the side body, out through the fingertips, nice and strong, gaze past that front hand. Beautiful. Now straighten the front leg, and we're moving right into triangle from here. Now, ultimately we'll attempt to get our hand to touch the chair. So if you need to do a little scooch forward so you have good reach, or pull your chair toward you, make sure that your hand can safely find the chair. So pop that back hip out, tip forward, let your hand find the chair, extend that top arm towards the ceiling. Can you turn your head and look up towards that hand? Take a breath. Lift a little energy up from the soles of your feet. Legs are strong and engaged. Side body is strong and engaged. And then when you're ready, lifting through the soles of the feet, up through that top hand, lift all the way up. We're going to circle the hands around, pivot that back heel, come into a little lunge, step that foot forward, find that tabletop position, bend your knees, push into your feet, inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften a little bit. Left leg is going to step back to that lunging position, and then we'll rotate and open up into warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out. Left hand is going to pick you up, or you'll keep connected to the chair if that feels more secure. Once you're here, lift that strong energy all the way up through the side body, out through your fingertips. Gaze past your front hand if you can. Take a breath. Awesome. Now straighten that front leg. Pop the tip yourself forward. Let your hands flat at the lift that top arm up. Make sure you feel secure first. And then once you're there, turn your head, look up towards the hand at the sky. Awesome. Release your head. Soften your knees. Strong legs, strong side body. Lift up through warrior two. And then circle your hands around. Find that lunge position. Step in. Once you found that tabletop position, take 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale to round your back. One more time. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale to round your back. Step it back to a downward facing dog. So walk yourself back to that V shape. Take one more breath in your down dog, and then we're going to bring it forward into a plank position, and then through our plank position to an upward facing dog. So you're going to bring your body weight forward so that shoulders are fairly in line with the wrist. You can rearrange your legs in any way so that you feel that good, strong planking position. You want to feel strong and secure here. And then once you feel that sense of strength, you pull your heart forward, let your hips come down just a little bit, lift your heart, lift your gaze, draw the shoulder blades together, take a breath. And then bring it back to your downward facing dog, nice and slow and controlled. Find that down dog, take a breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, walk yourself forward. And now we're going to take our chair, pick it up, turn it around, and come back to a seated position. So you'll arrange yourself in any way that makes the most sense to you. And then once you've got your seated position, take a moment to just scoot your butt far forward into your seat so that you have a little access to your leg. And we're just going to pick up the left leg, make a little basket weave, let your hands do the heavy lifting. Take that leg, draw it in a couple of circles, circle in one direction. Take that leg, draw it in circles, go the other way. All right, now we're going to hold that leg up, and we're going to start with a little kick or a little hinge at the knee joint. So just a little forward and back kick with that knee. Notice how your knee feels. If your knee's feeling cranky, you're going to go super slow and super gentle. If the knee is feeling good and kind of loosened up, then you're going to take a slight ellipsis, like you're making a really super long oval shape with your foot. And if you're making that ellipsis, maybe go the other way. Okay, now we're going to attempt a half lotus here. So you're going to hold on to the back of that leg, same hand. Your other hand is going to catch hold of the foot, and then you're just going to attempt to bring that foot up towards the top of the thigh. If you don't get there, don't worry about it. We're not actually trying to achieve a lotus. We're just going for that placement of the foot. So if you can bring it there, then you're just going to let your knee rest into your hand for a moment. Take a breath. Bring your knee a little closer to your heart. Gently release that foot. And we're going to switch right to the other side. Make your basket weave. Pick your leg up. A little hinge from the knee joint. Just swing the foot forward and back. And then notice how your knee is feeling here. One knee might be very different from the other. So always make sure you honor one side comparatively. If things are feeling good, take it into that slight little ellipsis. And then if things are feeling great, take it in the other direction. All right, one more little swing of that foot. And then you're going to lift the leg up, same hand, same foot, grabbing hold of the foot with your opposite hand, and then bringing that foot up towards the hip crease or up towards the top of the thigh. And then once you're there, you're just going to hold and support the knee in place. Sit up nice and tall. Take a breath. Lovely. And then slowly, gently, mindfully release that foot down to the ground. Take a couple little windshield wipers here just to kind of swish out the thighs, swish out the knees, swish out the ankles, make sure everything feels good. And then once you've got your knees, your hips, and everything feeling good, step your feet nice and firm on the ground. Bring your body weight forward, enough body weight forward that you feel just a little bit of downward pressure into the feet, and then lift your heels up, lower your heels down. Lift your heels up, lower your heels down. Lift your heels up, lower your heels down, stay down, lift your toes and spread your toes, lower your toes. Lift your toes and spread your toes, lower your toes. Lift your toes, spread your toes, lower your toes. Now we're going to go toes in the balls of the feet, but we're going to keep that slight forward body weight. So you're going to engage those muscles in the front of the shins to find it, and then release them back down. Lift the toes in the balls of the feet. Feel that little crunch in the muscles in the front of the shins, and then release. Do that one more time. Lift the toes in the balls of the feet, and then release. Come back up to a nice tall seated position. And then once you're there, a little tick-tock of the head from side to side. All right, now the next time your right ear comes towards your right shoulder, stay there. Let your ear get nice and heavy. Take a breath. Gently nod your head up and down just a little bit. We're going to come back to that side, but for right now, roll your chin across the chest, take it over to the other side. Hang out there, take a breath. Gently nod your head up and down, but only if it feels good. We'll come back to this side, but for right now, roll your chin just to your chest. And then once you're at your chest, make little figure eights with your nose. One more little figure eight with the nose, and then roll your ear back towards that right shoulder. And now we're going to take the right hand, we're going to reach it up, over, and across. So it's holding onto the left side of the head. And now we're going to push our head into our hand, and our hand is going to resist. So you're going to create that bit of resistance, push your head into your hand. Don't injure yourself, but just find that sort of sense of engagement of the muscles in the side of the neck. Like you're pushing your head into your hand, hold it there, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. That hand is going to come to the back of the head. Push your head into your hand. Hand is going to resist. Hold that resistance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hand. Drop your ear right over to the other shoulder. And now left hand is going to reach up, over, and across. You're going to create that little bit of tension. So your head is pushing into your hand. Your hand is creating that resistance. See if you can find and hold that resistance. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that tension. Bring the hand to the back of the head. Push your head into your hand. Hand is going to create a resistance. Hold that resistance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. But now take that hand, bring it all the way up, over, and across your shoulder. Fingers are going to fall behind the back of the shoulder. Tuck your elbow down. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. Lift your chin up, release your hand from the shoulder, bring it over to the other side. So hand's going to reach up, over, and across, so the fingers fall over the back of the shoulder. Tuck your elbow down, tuck your chin towards your chest, and take 3 nice deep breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, lift your head, release your hand. Both hands are going to come out at our sides, and we're going to do little palm flips. So you're going to start by flipping the palms forward, flipping the palms back, flip them forward, flip them back. And then we're going to take those flips and we're just going to move it gently all the way up towards the sky. So as you move your arms up, you're flipping your palms. Go with just whatever range of motion your arms and shoulders allow. It doesn't need to be anything specific. We just want to find a little bit of turning or rotational movement. And then once you've come all the way up and overhead, hang out there just for a moment. Let that flipping come to reduction, soften your shoulders down, make just a little space. So we're pressing gently down. So think tall mountain, press down into your feet, feel your butt connected to your chair, raise your arms up, take a moment to just imagine that you're drawing your ribs slightly in towards each other. Take a nice gentle breath. And then as we float the arms down, once they come all the way down, we're going to give the arms a soft and gentle shake. Like you've got a little bit of water left on your hands and you just kind of want to shake them out, shake them out, shake them out. And then once you've shaken your arms out just enough, let your arms come to stillness, hold onto your chair, pick up one leg, give it a good shake, 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 shake. And then once you've given that leg a nice gentle shake, set that foot down, switch to the other side, give your other leg a good gentle shake. Beautiful. And then once you've given that leg a good and gentle shake, start to walk yourself back into your seat. And if you want to, grab your yoga block or whatever supportive tool you had, if you like that little bit of elevated height for your feet at the end of your practice. And also, I should say, if you prefer to take your Shavasana on the ground or in any other variation, put your body in a way that feels reasonable to you. And if you like that Sukhasana, maybe you come back to that crisscross applesauce seat. So anything that might feel good, hands wherever you like them the best. And then just give your body a moment to find a comfortable position, reduce as much efforting as you can. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, start by gently reawakening the fingers and the toes. Just give everything a nice gentle wiggle. And then maybe take a little bit of movement into the wrists and the ankles, but take your time, no need to rush. And then maybe as you move your feet and you move your hands, maybe you turn your head just a little bit side to side, inviting a nice soft and gentle movement into the cervical spine. And as things start to wake up just a little bit more, maybe swish your knees a little bit side to side. Maybe you draw a little bit of movement into the arms and into the elbows. And then when you feel like your body is woken back up, step it out into a nice big good morning stretch. Reach your legs out, stretch your arms up, bring as much space and length into your body, reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. And then when you feel ready to do so, release and find a nice tall upright seated position. And then once you found that tall upright seated position, bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Close your eyes down for a moment. Notice your breath. Notice how your body feels. Notice where your mind is at. And if your mind is starting to gear up headlong into the day that's ahead of you, take a moment to set an intention to honor your body throughout the rest of your day, giving it good love and care and respect. When you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday. You guys are amazing.